So, War Thunder brought back the SEAD mission, and whereas this was a very successful event for a lot of players, and a lot of players enjoyed it, I think they failed to deliver on a couple of really big things that they should have tested. Obviously, this is a general playtest, so they wanted to test things, and I felt like they did get the testing of the missiles that they wanted to, the SAM sites, but they could have tested so many more things. This includes electronic countermeasures, they could have tested the anti-radiation missiles, they could have tested how game modes that use special aircraft like possibly KC-135, mid-air tankers, or aircraft like the B-52 worked together. This would have been a great playtest to actually see how modern or fairly modern bombers from the Vietnam War era would actually act in War Thunder. And we didn't see any of it, which is a little bit shocking and a little bit... I understand that they wanted to test out SAM sites, and they did get that testing done, but it would have made sense to test out some of the other stuff, because honestly, I would like to see anti-radiation missiles come alongside the more modern SAM sites, which Gaijin's already said is something that they plan on doing. And I also would really like to see electronic countermeasures follow that pretty quickly, if not come at the same time. It would have made sense to test both of these during the general playtest with the SAM sites, and especially if they are re-bringing it back. They wrapped up the testing, it was a success, and they said it's going to go on for a little bit longer, and they changed a couple things with it. I'm genuinely surprised we aren't seeing anti-radiation missiles or electronic countermeasures get tested, or even new aircraft like the B-52, because it genuinely would have been something to see tested, especially if this is this Vietnam era. We could have seen how the B-52's onboard jammers worked, which would be something we want to see for a long time. We could have seen how the F-105 Thuds jammers worked. Could have tested all of this. They also could have tested things like specialized aircraft like gunships. Not necessarily the AC-130, but the C-47 modified gunship they used in Vietnam. This is just my opinion. I feel like there could have been more things tested than we really did. Obviously, Gaijin did test out the SAM sites, which is good. That's what they wanted to do. But I really do think we could have seen more things tested, and I think it could have been a much better testing, in my opinion. Now, another thing I wanted to say is I do think it was a successful event. I think they did get to test out what they wanted to test out, but I do think it's possible we're not going to see anti-radiation missiles come immediately after they add these new AA systems. That's just what I think at this point. Obviously, they could test them by themselves, but since they had already stated that they were planning on adding anti-radiation missiles in the future, it really isn't like a surprise thing for when they add it. It's just about a matter of time. So it would have made sense to test it. A lot like the Fox 3s, they said that active radar homing missiles were coming to the game at some point, and instead of leaving it as a big surprise, they had a general playtest in the summer, and then they added the missiles in a feature update, and that was a big thing that they did, was that they actually let people test them out and see how they affected gameplay before they added them to the game. And they could have done the same thing here with the anti-radiation missiles, and they could have done the same thing with electronic countermeasures, which would have been really cool to see it get tested, in my opinion, because we would have actually gotten to see how it affected the game and what the outcome of it would be if it were to get added to the game. Really, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments. Do you guys think this playtest was a good addition to the game? Do you guys think we're going to see the new SAM sites in the future here soon? Do you guys think we're going to see it in an update or later on in the year? And do you think we're going to see electronic countermeasures and anti-radiation missiles come side by side with those? I want to know all your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in a later video.